You ever have those days where your brain just seems kind of fried, you've thought all you can think that day? This afternoon's been one of those days for me. I've been kind of up to my necks in equipment configurations and trying to get things going and running in my job. But sometimes we're like that in our business as well. It seems like we are going and going, and whether we've just tried to absorb too much or learn too much or try to figure out something and it's not been working, whatever it is, we end up seeming like we're just fried, like we can't go on, and so we have to take breaks occasionally and make sure that we rest and recharge and replenish, I guess, if you want to call it that, your mental energy or whatever phrase you want to tie to those things. Because if we don't, then we just become burn out. Sorry if I seem kind of out of breath. It's kind of cold here right now, and just walked a little ways from our building at quite a quick pace. I just read something. It's called what they're referring to as the rule of 52 and 17. We've heard of the 80-20 rule, how 80% of your benefit comes from 20% of whatever it is you do. But this was talking about they had analyzed productive workers, people who were the most productive at work, who had gotten the most things done. They put some kind of task tracker or something on their computers and to try to analyze that. And what they found was that the most productive workers worked for about 52 minutes at a time, and then they'd take a break for about 17 minutes. So there's the rule of 52 and 17. They work for 52 and then break for 17. And that's break completely, not necessarily just checking your emails or your Facebook or whatever. It was a complete break from their work stuff to be kind of refreshed and recharged during those little periods. So it was throughout the day, that's the way would do it, and they'd get more done. So their breaks may include going for some exercise and walking around a little bit, or stretching out, or just socializing with a coworker. And so that's how they were doing it, how they were recharging throughout the day, not in one big group, maybe in the evenings in one big bunch, but being recharged and replenished throughout the day. But those 52 minutes they were on, it was full on concentration doing on their tasks. You're setting aside distractions. You're not focused upon anything else. You don't look aside to anything else. You're focused upon the one project, the one objective, the one task that you're working on. And then when you finish that task, when you complete it, or when you come to a good breaking point, then you take a break. There's some tasks that can't be finished in that amount of time, and we have to push on through it. But we can't push on through it for an 8-hour stretch at a time, or whatever it may be. When we try and when we do that, then our motivation, our drive, and our quality of our work starts falling off after a period of time. So make sure we take those breaks. Make sure you break your concentration, your brain, if you will. It's kind of like a muscle. When you exercise your muscles, you need to break and rest them and to do so. And we have to do the same thing in our work and in our concentration periods. And because if we focused on something for too long, then we start becoming tired and worn down mentally, and that can be more of a drain many times than just a physical tiredness and being physically worn. So make sure you break. Make sure you exercise that concentration, that brain, but release it, rest it, and let it refresh before you go back in and give it 100% concentration and hit it again.